All natural.
I didn't shake their eyes.
All right, since we were working on that technical mount from Guy on Tuesday, then it can transition to the back. Let's just work on some standard back defense today, guys. Back here, please. Standard back defense today, guys. So anybody that's new, for the kids, etc. You know, standard back is we have our hooks in, both hooks. So we have a seatbelt grip, one over, one under. The one that's over is always the one that can choke you. The one that's under cannot choke you easily. It can, but not easily, so don't worry about it. The one that's over is always going to choke us. And so this is what we have to immediately be cognizant of, be alert of, start monitoring this hand as soon as it comes over his shoulder, no matter where it goes. If it pins his hand, he needs to be on it, because I can peel and go back. We can sit here and do this hand fight, but the whole time I have this top position between his hands and his face, so I'm almost always going to win this space. So for him, it's always a necessity. Anytime a hand comes over, he's immediately knowing where the end of this arm is and where it can go, whether I'm fighting or whether I'm starting to choke. So again, typical back control is going to be hooks. Hooks, you're going to have your palms facing each other on the feet. We do not want them crossed. He can ankle lock us. Typically want them palms down or palms to the floor. Doesn't matter, either one. Palms to the floor, we keep the feet spread apart. Seatbelt, one over, one under. We usually like the bottom hand taking control of the top hand, because the bottom hand can now pull the top hand in, because ideally, I want to have ear-to-ear grips here. We're right here and we can listen to his thoughts. So, first defense that Matt's going to end up doing here is going to be that hand over the head. He's going to end up breaking this grip first off by keeping his thumbs and his fingers inside of the choke, so that way he doesn't get choked. He's going to start to feel that top hand over. He's going to fall to the weak side. So the weak side, again, we got the strong side, the other hand's the weak side. He's going to fall to that weak side. Boom. Now my arm is trapped between his arm and the mat. It's hard for me to get this arm out now because I'm under him. This hand's free all day. But it's going to take a little bit of effort for me to get that arm back now that the mat is involved. And so he's using that to his advantage, and he will start to pull this top hand over his head. Go ahead, hold it. Once we do that, he's going to use his bottom hand to go onto the tricep. Yep. And we start. Come here. Come here. You do it to me. You do it to me. You got a bad elbow. Oh, bad elbow. Bad elbow. Marty, come here. T-Rex. Don't worry, I'm getting it fixed. I forget that Mr. Matt's about to die. So seatbelt, again, overhand, so that's my power hand. Underhand, that's the weak hand. First, I'm monitoring the strong hand. We're going to get thumb and fingers in here, make space, and we're going to hang on tight. We can fall to this weak side, and I'm going to keep my elbow heavy into the mat so that way he does not get his arm back immediately. Both hands, we're going to start to pry up and get this arm over the head. If we're here and our ear is at his tricep, I can arm bar him right here. We can keep this arm. The bottom hand goes to the tricep, and we keep it nice and tight. Over here, we can start fighting these legs. So I want to get here, and I want you to take a second, once you get here, to figure out what you would do in this foot situation. Because I know what I would do, but having this and this going on at the same time can be a lot for somebody. And so first, I want us to get to that seatbelt and hook grip. Go ahead, Marty. Seatbelt hook. Find our power hand, get our fingers into this power hand. Up and over. We have to have his elbow go past our ear. We want to be able to have his elbow like near our chest. And we keep this arm here, and we're keeping him pinned to the mat. Once we keep him pinned to the mat, bottom hand reaches to this tricep. I can use one hand now to keep that elbow. And now I want you to sit here for a minute and figure out what you would do to get out of this situation. And then after that, we will go over this situation in its entirety. So again, one more time. And thumb in there, get that grip. open up the space a little bit, up and over the head. And whenever I go up and over the head, guys, I'm not going like this. I'm pulling him outward and over. So that way I know this elbow is going to be here. We lean into the weak side of the mat, and we grab above the elbow. My elbow is pulling down and my head is pushing. So I'm going to keep this arm. And then we look at the situation and figure out what's the best route for you and your game to get out of this. And then we'll go over this part again. Any questions, please let me know. Partner up. 1, 2, 3. Seatbelt and hooks. Top hand monitor. Pry off the neck. Pulling outward over the head.
That's your basic. I'm doing it? Oh.
Side arm. Bring down my bicep. Pulling down. That's an arm. Take that right hand off. Tricep. You drop all your weight. Tension.
See how we're talking about.
You know, let go of the right. You're going to come in here. Keep the pressure out. Okay. What's really pretty big for me. You're out. Yeah. And so you're gonna have to. Yeah, that's cool. I got you. Switch on your own. Switch on your own. Keep it with the bottom. Top hand is now straight. 5 feet. Keeping this head in, head in. I want my head to touch the mat. I want to keep his arm. Now 5 feet. Yes. Cool. You cannot have his arm like that. Well, I've got Dogs have WRS.
No, I understand. I was just waiting for you to get
And I was like,
These types of videos. Okay, let me go to the left.
Also, you wanted to do
So do you know that you could?
are we good on that? Couple reps in for that? Yeah. Both sides. And so back to that seatbelt grip. Whenever we break this over, keep the grip like fall. So again, some people, as they start jujitsu, have a hard time doing 2 or 3 actions at once. Head down to the mat is one action. Elbow and arm pressing inward or upward into my body, because this opening is how he gets out of his, lets go of his arm. Wherever my hand opens is how he gets out. And so that opening, I want to keep it as close to my body as possible, so that way he has such a little opening to try to sneak this whole arm out. So these are 2 actions right here. Head down, arm inward towards my body, so that way he's not going to get this arm back by even a very big jerk at one point in time, right? So now, whenever we get to this point, I saw people doing this different ways. I saw people scooting out and sliding out. Perfectly viable. I saw people stepping over, pushing down. Good too, love them both. Number one thing I think personally, and I'm a big fan of, getting my forearms into any bendy part. A knee bend or an elbow bend. And so once we have this head down, arm in, the first thing I like to do is get an elbow into that bendy part. Look how much I have space now. Just from doing that, because I have this hip pinned to the mat over here. If I'm doing this right, the pressure that I'm putting here, downward and inward, allows me to flex my hips a little bit, and then whenever I scoot in with this elbow, I can open him all the way up. This is a tremendous amount of space for me to walk over. And so the preferred method for this is once we get this elbow in, if his heel is stuck on my leg over here, I got all this room to back up. He doesn't. I can back up. I can take my foot and just push it off. There's no big deal right here. Once we get here and we pass our bottom foot, not our top foot, our bottom foot over his bottom foot, once we're here, we're going to keep our stomach to the sky, on our toes and shoulders, and we're going to walk and keeping the arm the whole time. Whenever we are ready, all of my weight is concentrated into this shoulder right now because I'm completely off the ground. Whenever we're ready, we keep the arm and we spin into it. Whenever I do my spin, I have now turned my chin into his tricep. So that way I can let go with my hand because now my chin is doing the work. And now I can come here and I can start to pin here. If you need to keep the arm on his, if you need to keep your hand on his arm during that turn, that's perfectly fine. But you can let your head do the work there. Nice and tight. My hand is pointing into my body. My head's pointing to the ground. Inside elbow, and I can break this out. Little step. I'm gonna let my bottom leg come through this big window I've created by just moving my hips a little bit. Boom. Now I'm on my back. And I can ride this. And I can breathe here. He's not going anywhere for a second. Whenever I'm ready to make my turn, I'm gonna make sure my chin goes where my hand is currently. Boom. And I make my turn. And I come heavy down with my chin and kind of side control. One more time. Break. Over. Above the elbow. Head down, arm, the opening of the palm of my hand inward to my body. Elbow in and open this up. And I keep my elbow here because if I move my elbow, it's just gonna come back. My elbow stays here. There is no threat to this hand anymore right now. I can keep it here. Bring that knee through. On my back and my toes, my chin will replace my hand. And I'm heavy with my chin. My chin is down now. All my weight is on my chin, driving me down. Any questions? Please let me know. Pair up. 1, 2, 3. Heavy pressure. Heavy pressure. Questions? Let us know.
This one's going to get close, but right here, tricep. So you want to figure that. You just turn the other way. It's a lot harder for me
Pull the hips up. Bottom hand keeps the elbow with the head. Top hand fights. Get that inside elbow. Inside elbow. Inside elbow. I can extend my arm to keep his leg in bed. Top foot fights the bottom foot until bottom hand slides through. Shoulders and toes. My chin will, once I get to a good turnout, my chin will turn into where my hand is. And I get it. I don't get his arm back.
Here we are, right? You would have gone like this. It's the way like it's going to take your back. You want to stay smash it. You feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, you didn't swing my arm. You're good.
All that pressure right there.
So if start turning early, that's how you can take it back. If I start turning over, so like this, if you start turning here towards yourself, connect. You're up. I got you. So let it go. That sucks.
Yeah.
But it feels wrong to be right. But it sucks. Right. I got it. See how easy it was to get back. Especially if yours like upper body. Yeah. You walk. Yeah, you kind of grab walking sideways, cross what? Don't do that. Guys like CJ, they'll put you right back in back control and you're in the worst position now. Much higher turn. So he was right high. He was right high.
I was rolling in that. I mean, but sometimes don't play too. Have you ever played Breath of the Wild?
I never played a single Actually, no. The Akare knows how to.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, so I have,
That's the only one I play by.
I just have like two
It's also the 8-year-old body.
I have Aegis Calamity and Skyward Sword.
I really feel all switch games.
Well, Skyward Sword was originally on the Wii U. Or the Wii U. And they ported it. I mean, all the other Zelda games have Skyward Sword. Or Skyward Sword's the only game. Aren't you crushed?
I feel like I met this guy.
Couple more.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it in.
Should be the top of your hand.
It's gonna make a funny sound. Listen. I'm not gonna put it. Yeah, we'll make sure we're actually, I'm hang out with that.
I am
So since we had the kids in here today, guys, a couple of new guys in here, I just figured we'll go over those couple of things. Very common stuff: back control, learning how to neutralize back control, getting rid of that top hand. The top hand is always the choking hand, no matter which hand, whichever shoulder it comes over. If it's over a shoulder, it can and always will choke me if given the opportunity. We always got to make sure we're monitoring that choking hand. When we're on that choking hand, we pry off that grip. We're not pulling up, we're pulling outwards. When we pull outward, then we can swing it across our head. When we cross our head, we want to make sure that we're above that elbow. That elbow is past our ear. If it's past our ear, we can yank it backwards to get an arm bar. We can cup it and keep it. Now if we fall on that weak side. If we fall on that weak side, now we can use our head in the mat. The mat doesn't go anywhere. Gravity allows us to use this mat as our third weapon. And so whenever we start to pin our head into the mat and keep that arm, we have a free hand, and we can start figuring out what's going on with these feet, open these hips up. We can start walking out, creating some really intense pressure with our shoulders and our feet. And we walk around like a clock, and we really plow in using the tippy toes of our shoulders, tippy toes of our feet, to drive our shoulders into his chest until we're ready to replace our hand with our chin. When we make that turn, we don't give him his arm back. We keep his arm way over here. We're flaring out up here. We don't want to give him his arm back down here. He can use it down here. All of this, when we make that turn, he can't use his arm up here. Keep this. It was given to you. You earned it. Keep it. Let's line up and bow out.
That's where the dent in the wall was. Look at all the crack. No, that's it. Okay, put out the
Feet together about Mr. Grayson.